You were never afraid of the dark. Even before you had the words, you felt the pull. A call from the void. Something deeper than thought and older than memory. So you followed it. Inside, it all came rushing in. Numbers, symbols, patterns. The cosmic code revealing itself in waves. Not to confuse you, but to remind you. You've seen this before. You've read this language in another life. Your mind began to understand. But it was your heart that truly remembered. This is what decoding really is. Reuniting the thinking and the feeling, the logic and the soul. This is how you wake up. And when you do, you are not the same. You carry light codes now. You move differently. You speak in frequencies because you remember who you are. You decode to find your way home and to help others do the same. This is why we decode.
She reads the body like a weathered map, knows where the fault lines they can crack. Hands steady, eyes on fire, delivers life, then climbs still higher. By daylight she is science and bone, by night she listens to the unknown. She doesn't borrow truth from borrowed name. She watches planets burn their own arcane flame. She is the physician of stars, with her feet in the water and her soul on Mars. Counting cycles, breaking scars, midwife for worlds, wherever you are. She doesn't follow the clock or the crowd. She listens to the sky and she listens out loud. Yeah. Braided hair catching solar wind, ice blue eyes that see through skin. She doesn't ask permission to know. She lets the real constellation show. 13 pathways, one long arc. She walks the edge between dark and spark. She's not afraid of the void or flame. She knows rebirth never comes the same. She is the physician of stars. She knows rebirth never comes the same. She is the physician of stars, with blood and myth in perfect accord, holding heaven inside her scars, writing medicine straight into the cord. She doesn't pray to the older skies. She reads the truth written in the sky. She loves the ocean and the thrill of speed. Wind in her hair, no need to plead. Fire in the lungs, lightning in the hips, truth on her tongue, no practice slips. She cannot lie, she cannot fold. She was born remembering what others forgot to be told. She is the physician of stars, delivering futures with steady hands, breaking cages, bending bars, teaching time how to understand. She doesn't dim, she doesn't wait. She opens gates that others call fate. And when the sky forgets its name, she'll still be here doing the same, watching cycles rise and fall, midwife to the cosmos, mother to it all.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to The Real Sky. I'm Dr. Danny. We are going to explore Venus in Aries, Venus square Pluto, and I'm going to take you through your house or through your rising signs with that one. Then I have a little decode for you. It's called The Fool and the Wolf. And then I'm going to share some of my findings with the astrology field research question that I asked you all earlier in the week. I need more respondents, but we'll get into that. With sample sizes and statistics, you want to see if something that's trending is actually statistically significant. So you need more more people. So I'm working on that. The astrology is really lit coming up. Tomorrow we have a full moon, and Venus is going to square Pluto right as she's entering Aries. Aries is going to actually happen tonight. The energy's already there. So I'm feeling it. I wonder if you guys are. Let me know. We have probably about 6 more weeks of really intense energy, but we're going to do this. We are going to do this. This is the Magician's moon. The next moon is the Adept's moon. And there's a way to surf this wave. So we're going to surf it. I'm excited to be here with all of you. I was on call yesterday, and it really was quite a magical call. Everything that could have happened in the best possible way. And I love it when it works out like that. Babies are supposed to just kind of come. And so when they just do and there's no problems, it's yes, the less work I have to do. But at any rate, I'm excited to be here. I don't have to be on call tomorrow. But I was just working with my calendars. Is anybody having problems with their calendars and like organizing all the things that are coming at them? Or is it just me? Is it because Jupiter is direct in Gemini and it's just kind of effing with the mind? It's trying to Mercury and Aquarius. I'm just feeling all of this like thought energy, questions, ideas being shuffled around. One day something's a good idea. The next day it's not. Are y'all into that? Are y'all feeling that? Let me know in the chat. All right, let's see who's here. So Patreon, yeah, that. I have to practice with that again. What I might do is practice streaming to. I think I have to stream directly into it. Restream for some reason doesn't seem to pick it up. You're not actually allowed to go live on Patreon until 5 minutes before, but I connected everything. At least I thought I did, and it still didn't work. So sorry about that, you guys. I appreciate you being here. Mary Mystic Lorna is here from Windy, Oregon. And Alora, yeah, this is going to be the main chat tonight. Ideally, what Restream does is it grabs the chats from everywhere and puts it in here so I can see everybody talking to me. But these things change from time to time, so it's fine. All right, cool. All right, we got Seek to Create. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. All right, Heidi's Soul Level Wellness is here. Hello, hello. 1DJDZ, hello. Who's missing? Where's Lori? I don't have any moderators in here. I might have to make one of you guys a moderator. Just be on your best behavior, y'all. Sprout Queen's here. Claire Louise is here. Yay! All right. We have 13 in the chat, so that means I can get started. I think the first thing we will do is take a walk outside. And I hope y'all have been gazing at the western sky right after sunset, especially after the new moon that we just had. You get to see evening star Venus, and you also get to see the waxing crescent moon right there at dusk. Such a beautiful sight, at least for me. Like God, that sight moves my heart. And I get to see her every night when it's a clear night. So it's really fantastic. So hopefully you guys are checking that out. Awesome. All right, well, let me show you the sky so you guys can do it too. If you don't have a clear view of the western sky in the evenings, I think you should just kind of go for a drive out where there's no lights or anything like that, and see if you can spy Venus. It's pretty bright. You can see her till about, I don't know, maybe about an hour after sunset. Maybe about 45 minutes, but if you have a clear night, it's perfect. All right, so here's what we'll do. We will share the screen. We'll share entire screen. Ooh, I can just share Stellarium. Let's do that. Not share audio. Okay. Cool. Oh, this is amazing. All right, look, I'm doing it. I'm learning something. That's the deal, you guys. If you want to learn how to do something, you have to just try it. It's literally like, terrifying sometimes, especially for people that don't want to be made fun of and, don't want to try things, or they're too afraid of what people think. You get to a point in your life where you're like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. So, all right, here's what we're looking at. This is actually tomorrow morning. But in about an hour, Venus will enter constellation Aries. And what I've done here is I brought up stellarium-web.org. I've brought up the full moon. I just wanted you to see what that sky looks like. And this is the morning. So what we're going to do is just move the sun along this red line, because this is the line that the sun follows every single day. It marks our solar. We are so dependent on the sun. It is our timekeeper. Okay, it is our hour of the day. It is the hours of our night, because its absence also counts the number of hours. And our seasons are based on this. And your tropical signs, by the way, for those of you that follow tropical, are based on the seasons of the sun. So, like from spring to summer is Aries. What's that? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, right? And so, a lot of tropical astrologers are going to tell you that Venus is in Taurus, and she is in the month of Taurus in the seasonal scheme. But it sounds just like the constellation Taurus, and she's not there yet. And so, what we do here is we read the sky based on where the planet actually is. And the reason I do that, it's not to be flippant or to throw the table over on tropical planetology, but Venus isn't solar. Venus is a planet, right? Venus follows the same path as the sun, but she doesn't really obey the seasons of the sun. So I'm not so sure that she necessarily cares about March 21st being, like, at least when she moves into Aries, that would be March 21st on our calendar. Like, is she really that? No. Is she really Taurus right now? No, she's Aries, right? She was Pisces this morning, and by the time we all go to bed, she's going to be Aries energy. This is really actually very misunderstood energy. So we're gonna dive deep today, y'all. You're gonna love this. You're gonna walk away entertained, intrigued, your mind just a little bit blown, and hopefully in the mood to ask a whole bunch of questions about yourself and astrology. So right here is the sky. These are the constellations. Let's put the art in just to make it more beautiful. Actually, Venus is closer to the stars of Cetus right now. This crossing over between Pisces and Aries is actually really quite significant, and it's due to the energy of the stars of Cetus, the sea monster. This is like crossing a huge gulf from the mystic darkness, the bottom of the ocean of Pisces, to like this bright energy. Think of the sprout of a plant like bursting through the soil here, and it's like ready to grow. Venus is also in this phase of her larger 20-month cycle. And whenever the moon passes by Venus right now, the moon will also be in the same phase. So this is going to be a very interesting month ahead of us for sure. This is a short transit. As you can see, Aries is a very tiny constellation. It may have been that part of Aries and part of Cetus's face were part of that Ram constellation. Triangulum might have been part of that. It's hard to say, but this is the modern interpretation of these constellations. So there she is. We're going to explore the entire transit of Aries, and it lasts only 17 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17. There we go. And then she will enter the stars of Taurus. So we'll look at that. She's going to make, before she leaves Aries, she's going to make a very important square to Pluto. And she'll do this every cycle, at least twice. But this is not silly energy at all. This is energy that we need to be very, very aware of. It's energy that if you know it's coming, then you can be rest assured that your intuition was correct, even if it feels horrible. Okay. So I want you guys to just be ready for this. I talked a little bit about it the last time we met, but after having, Venus conjunct Chiron for the last for the last 10 days and working with that energy myself, it's been really beautiful, really eye-opening. And this Pluto square might be a little bit intense for some of us. I definitely think that the full moon tomorrow is going to feel like a peak, but it's nothing we can't handle. All right, so there's that. Let me zoom out here and just show you why this red line is so important. This is really cool, actually. If we zoom out enough on this program and we just get this red line centered a little bit, if we had the landscape in there, we just took it out. We had the atmosphere in there. We're just going to take that out. And let's take out the art too and just consider the sky. So these are the stars that are lying in the ecliptic of the sun. And that's why we care about the zodiac. So, yes, the zodiac does belong to the sun. The soul's months are when it transits through these star fields. Okay. But there is a seasonal calendar that is overlaid on top of our Gregorian calendar that mimics this. And it's not aligned to the actual sky. So that's what tropical is. And it's cool if you do that. I'm done fighting you guys. You can do whatever you want. I love this. This resonates with me. This resonates with a lot of people that I work with. It's almost as if once you know your own true sky, everything changes. Everything changed. Everything that was stuck is free. Things that you always wanted actually come true. And it's really quite beautiful. So raise your hand if you can testify to that, because I'm literally living proof. I can name 3 people off the top of my head right now that are also. So this is our zodiac. You can see the similar pattern here, right? Let me show it to you in a chart. So this is our chart that represents the real sky over here. Same ring. It's just put on a 2-dimensional piece of paper, and we give it symbols and glyphs so that our subconscious can connect to it. Because our subconscious is also reading these charts. It's not just where is it in the sky, but these symbols actually have meaning. And that's the meaning we're going to explore tonight as we go through Venus in Aries. But let's check this out. I want to show you the chart as she moves from day to day, but let's move through just a few hours because it's going to happen, I want to say around 8 o'clock my time or 7 o'clock. Let's see. We're gonna watch this symbol right here where my cursor is. You see 41 and that little star, that's the Pisces symbol. It happens right there. So between 6 and 7 o'clock, Venus will enter into a central daylight time. She will enter into Aries. So let's go right now. And let's watch her transit. So you can see she starts off really good here with a square to Pluto in Capricorn. And I'm sorry for those of you that study tropical and think that Pluto is in Aquarius. That's a different thing. That's Pluto's season in Aquarius. The real work that Pluto's doing is through Capricorn. So we're working through Capricorn. We're only at 4 degrees Capricorn, and you can see it happening. You can see the slow, inevitable destruction of these big, bulky, bloated, overused institutions that have gone global. I mean, they really just can't do things anymore. Big government, big pharmacy, big school, big university, all of it. And people are just not having it. Big networks, big sports teams. They're just like, what really matters to me? And how do I, you know, um, share that with my family? Oh, let me show you the chart. I'm not showing the chart. Let me fix that. I switched tabs. That's what I did. You guys should be able to see that now. Yeah, there we go. So anyway, I'm going to show this to you on the chart for Venus moving through Aries, and you can see this square to Pluto. So we were just kind of talking about Pluto right here. That slow dissolution of those government structures, those things that are, kind of weighing us down. And it feels really refreshing. Like if you think about it, some really amazing things could come from this kind of a transformation. But it's long and it's slow and it's purposeful. But a square to Venus moving through this space, it's quick, it's hot, it's fiery. Pluto can be known to, like when pushed, be obsessed, be really jealous, be really angry, be very surgical. Anytime there's a square, sometimes there's just a decision that needs to be made. Right. So when I think about like Venus and Pluto together right here, I'm like, what's the decision that needs to be made for me? And it feels like getting rid of something that's holding me down, either physically, like in the real world, or an emotional attachment, or perhaps a house. It just depends on where it falls in your chart. If Venus is maybe moving through your 4th house and she's going to make this strong connection to Pluto and Capricorn, you might be ready to make that decision, and it's going to be hard. So, and why is it hard? Well, that again depends on your circumstances. We're going to be a number of things, like you don't want to disrupt the family flow, but you have to, or you don't want to leave your job, but you have to. So we're going to explore all of that for all of you. If you know your rising sign, then you should do great. We'll go through it pretty quickly. I have short reads for each of you. So, all right. Let's see. Let's watch this day by day, and then we'll get into the presentation. So here's Venus up here, moving through Aries. And the square to Pluto will last until about, I want to say the 8th or the 9th. Yeah, there it is. It dissipates around the 8th or the 9th. And then we get some really nice aspects to Jupiter and a sextile and a trine to the north and south node. So if we can get through this little push here the next 9 days and really compassionately do the things that we have to do, the hard things, I think that we can sail into the Adept's moon very, very gracefully. Remember, I told you on our last live stream, there was a hidden order to these planets. And as they move karmically through counterclockwise through this zodiac, Venus is first. Venus is in Aries, and she is going to show us through our intuition, through our bodies, how it's going to feel. And I do believe that the first part's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. Something tough's going to have to give here. But then after that, it flows. Everything flows very, very nicely if you're ready for it. So again, and then we get into the next new moon right here, which everything is on Chiron. So I think this is our last sort of really hard lunar cycle after this full moon and the next new moon. This one should be it. And then after that, it's Uranus, Jupiter, like summertime kind of energy. So it should be pretty good. All right, y'all. That is the sky. I want to get into this presentation, but I want to make sure I didn't. Got to be careful when you're sharing those windows, y'all. Stop. And then we'll stop sharing that one. Cool. There we go. Hopefully that transition was a little bit smoother. Let's see who else came in while we were talking about that. Coastal Man Swift is an Ophiuchus rising in sidereal, and you came across my videos yesterday. Nice to be. Well, welcome. Yeah, you Ophiuchus risings are so mysterious. Oh my goodness. Hey, Laura. Let's see. 1DJD is a triple Taurus in tropical and in real sky in Aries, Pisces. Oh yeah, that is very different for sure. Let the tower fall. I like it. Kaki, hello, friend. Good to see you. All right. Judy Kosminski, welcome. All right, I think I got everybody. Cool. All right. Are y'all ready to get into this? This is a cool presentation. I think you'll like it. Like I said, nothing too heavy. We're gonna work with this Venus square Pluto. It just depends on where it is, and you can be ready for it. It's kind of just started, so y'all might have a feeling of where it is in your life. I think for me, it's like 12th and 9th. So it's a struggle between, like, I'm feeling very sleepy these days. And there really is a lot of things that need to be done that I need to make happen. But we're working through it. I'm excited to see what happens after this full moon. So awesome. So good to see you guys. If I guess I don't think I have a moderator, so I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the description for you. For those of you that are new, that would like to participate later with our rising sign. It's more useful if you do it here in the sidereal framework, because the houses will still be the same. It's just the zodiac sign will be different. All right. So let me give it to you. Here you go. Hopefully you guys can see that. We'll pin that over here. All right. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate your support. We've just had a wild few weeks getting used to all the different social media platforms that we're using. I'm still having trouble getting Vishal into my Instagram. I'm not even sure what is going on with that, but we're getting through it. We're working through it. All right, let me see what happened there. I can't see the chat on YouTube anymore. Let me reload that. There it is. All right. Pop out chat. Okay. See, this is what I mean. I just feel like there's like energy zinging around my brain, and it's really hard to do a lot of things. I feel, but it's no different. My life is no different than it was, 2 weeks ago. It's just my ability to like deal with it, I guess is the problem. All right. So, okay. I have all my notes up there. I got the chat right there. We're going to share this presentation and get into some Venus and Aries. I'll be reading you parts of the Venus manuscript that I thought was done, but it's totally not done. So we're just going to leave it at that and keep the study going. And then I will also read you, so I'll read you Venus and Aries, and then I'll read you Venus and Pluto together. And then what we'll do is I will put a chart up here, and I'm going to rotate it so that we'll start with Aries. So when we get to that section, you'll see Aries on the left side of the chart. And if you're an Aries rising, then this will be the 2 minutes for you. Okay, then I'm going to rotate it a little bit more and for Taurus. And so if you're Taurus rising, I'm going to read you the houses that are going to be considered in your chart. And I'll do the same thing till we get all the way around. So that'll probably be about maybe 20, 30 minutes while we're working on that. Well, once we get around that, this is what I want you to take with you through the full moon, what you need to release. Okay, so remember, you have to compassionately destroy something or let something go. It's like controlled destruction, okay? So if you do this with these houses, the energy should land better, right? So in other words, you'll know right where to focus, where this is going to happen. Hopefully this will make sense as we get into it. Hopefully I'm explaining myself. Let me know in the chat if I sound ridiculously crazy. Actually, don't. Just tell me it's awesome. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Let me open this PowerPoint. Oh my gosh, it won't let me open it. There we go. All right. Venus forecasts for Aries. You are not asking for permission. This is serious business. Venus in Aries does not play. Everyone usually assumes that Venus in Aries is like a promiscuous energy or a high sex drive kind of energy, and that's it. It's really way more than that. It's an energy where you just know what you want. I mean, that's what this planet Venus is supposed to do. It is supposed to literally like bring you what you want through the physical sensations. And if there's a person that you want and you're a Venus Aries, you're just going to be very bold and direct about it. Unless you're maybe 4th house or 12th house. You might use different means, but you're going to go after what you want. That's literally what you guys do. If it's not a person, I mean, it could mean sex drive. It just depends on what that means for you when it means you want someone. Do you want their company? Do you want physical contact? But you know specifically what you want, and you go and you get it. So, you see a car you want, you're going to go and get it. So you're not asking for permission with Venus energy here. I don't see like a flirty or sparkly energy through this. I see a very steady gaze. I see a very patient energy that doesn't let up, right? It's got a little bit of teeth. It's willing to kind of bite through the restraints of whatever's holding it back. It's willing to crawl under, crawl over, circle around, cross the river, to get to it. It feels very wolf-like to me. Wolves are solo or in packs, and that's Venus. She will go in Aries. She'll go on her own, or she'll go in packs. She doesn't care as long as she gets what she wants. Wolves have sex. So if you agree with that promiscuous description, then I guess that could fit. But I'm thinking more of like a higher spiritual energy for this Venus in Aries. I know we don't hear a lot about that in the mainstream, but if you're a Venus in Aries and you know this already, because you know your sidereal chart. Let me know. Let me know how that feels for you. Does that feel more does that feel more authentic to your soul? Does that feel like it resonates more with how you obtain and manifest the things that you want in your life? You just don't ask permission. You literally freaking do it. All right, so this is the time map for those of you that have never seen this. This is basically from Venus's perspective. Okay, this is the planetology side of our lives, where what are the connections that Venus is making to other planets. I also do big sign changes, direction changes, and the moon phases. Now we just went through this last week here, this weekend over here. And this was a pretty peaceful week. It felt very sleepy, very creative. Like I had all kinds of ideas popping off. I just couldn't really speak about it. Like I was just, sitting in the imaginal space a lot this weekend. It was really, really wonderful. I've been very tired because I'm trying to adjust my menopausal hormones so I don't so I don't keel over. I've been sleeping a lot. Plus, Mars moved into Pisces, so that might be why we're all a little bit more droopy and sleepy. Everything's about to shift, though, and Venus is first. And this happens in about an hour. Venus will be moving into this energy here. So we should feel a little fire under our feet after tomorrow. She's also starting to warm up to that square to Pluto, which we're going to look at here very shortly. And then there's also this nice sort of destiny kind of karmic energy where we're sextile to the North Node in Aquarius. So we can access that. We have a doorway to access new age ideas, new ways of thinking, collaborations, perhaps. While we can also access our divine creative spark, which is Leo. This is the South Node. That's where Ketu is. So this is really lovely. And it's going to fuel this conversation that we all have with Pluto during this full moon. Okay. And then right after those two energies wear off, we get a Jupiter with Venus. So the Pluto North Node energy is going to last until about the 9th. And then on the 8th, we're going to pick up the sextile to Jupiter. This is awesome. You guys will love this. This is like, let's just go be with friends. Let's have a party. Let's hook up. Let's make things happen. It's just really, really good, fun, juicy energy. So whatever you go through here is going to be rewarded with this here. And maybe next week we'll talk about like where this is in our charts. Hopefully, if you know where Aries is, then you know like what house that's in for you in your natal chart. Then you know where Gemini is. Then you know what two houses are interacting in your own natal chart. And this is where the opportunity, the openness for abundance and creativity come through. So it's right here. And then on the 17th, we get a Pisces new moon. This is the Adept's moon. I've got all the notes done for that. I finally finished all the rising signs for that. That one's going to be a long one, and I'm probably recording it in the next day or two, which means that Patreon, you will get to see that first. So I'm sorry for the big shift with the Stargazers membership. I'm trying to iron out all the kinks and learn how to use Patreon at the same time. I know you guys want to support it, and I do too, but it is literally my fault. I'm just trying new things and I'm learning every time, and eventually I will get it. So I appreciate all of you being patient with me. All right. So that ends sort of the planetology part of it, the waves of energy that Venus is going to be detecting for us within that hidden planetary order. And you can feel this in your bodies. Okay. How do you know if Venus is working for you? You can feel it, right? Ask yourself, do I want to do this? And just shut your head off for a second. Shut your mouth. Listen. Feel. What does your body say to you? Does it feel like a yes? A yes feels good. What feels good in your body? Maybe you get the spirit chills. Maybe you have maybe you get little goosebumps. Maybe you get a little ASMR. Maybe you feel a little aroused. All that is yes. Maybe you laugh a little, get the butterflies. All that's yes. So just ask your body that, and that's your Venus speaking to you and saying yes. Okay. It'll also tell you no, right? If you're walking into a situation where maybe you're just too tired, you just don't have the energy, you just can't do it, and you want to say no, but you start getting dressed anyway, and then you start to feel sick. That's also Venus. That's also Venus saying, please don't make me do this. And you have to listen to that. You have to listen to that because that's how you align with these energies in a way that they work for you and not against you, where you become the wizard and the alchemist and the adept and the magician. Because really, your goal is to rise above all this, to rise above all this energy. That's what the 13th sign's about. And that's why I am showing this to you today. All right. Also, you guys have seen this before. For those of you that are new, this is the seasons of Venus with the dates of her transits through the star fields, not the seasonal calendar of the sun, but the star fields. Okay. So tomorrow, Aries, 4:17, we go into Taurus, 5:17, we go into Gemini, 6:11 into Cancer, 6:26 into Leo, and then 7:31, we go into Virgo. All right. She's going to be in Virgo for about 4 or 5 months because we're going to have, excuse me, we're going to have a retrograde cycle here. And this is a very interesting event. It happens every 20 months. And it is an intense peak in Venusian energy. It is by no means the love and the beauty and the harmony and put a pretty dress and lipstick on her energy at all. This is sacred rage. This is powerful energy for manifestation. If you're working on long-term projects and you're just now stepping into this, you still got time. You still got time to feel into this wave. This is so powerful. You're already unconsciously creating what you desire. You just may not be consciously aware of what you desire. Once you have that awareness, then you can watch this cycle unfold, or you can actually actively participate in it. Okay. And this is what the lunar cycles are for. So, this is what these bubbles are. These are lunar cycles that we are endeavoring to move through. And we're in this one right here. So, we're right in the middle here, about to hit a full moon. This next hashtag right here is the next new moon. Okay, so you have lunar cycles to work with, lunar magic to help you work with this larger Venus cycle. On 10-1 or 10-2, right around there, that's when she goes retrograde. But it starts picking up a little sooner than that because she'll slow down, she'll stop, and then she'll go retrograde and swing through the sky faster than the moon, affecting Earth's gravity, affecting our tides a tiny bit, and absolutely affecting our whole like desire, relationships, everything that Venus represents in our astrology. Okay, so that's the calendar we're watching, and this is what we just reviewed. And I'll probably jump in here and a little right before that new moon and talk to you guys a little bit too. One other thing I would love to point out also is just for the numerologists out there, and the energy sort of, cutting edge physics type of people, there is such a thing as a fourth dimensional energetic ripple of energy. And it's not something you can describe other than maybe thinking about a ripple after you drop a stone in water, the way those ripples radiate outward and spread outward in time. And I believe that's what these retrograde energies do. I also think eclipses do that. And because of Venus's harmonics with Sun and Earth, it paints a 5-pointed star in the sky that is synchronous with Phi. And we also get the Fibonacci sequence out of it. And so what I do every time we get to this point in her cycles, I count down by Fibonacci numbers. So I started at 233, and 144 is June 1st. And each one is, a Fibonacci ratio less until we get to that date, just to give you an idea of how quickly the intensity can build. And you'll be in it. We'll all be in it in Virgo. So it should be pretty interesting. Okay, next is let me talk to you a little bit about Aries Venus. These are the topics we're going to go through. And then Venus and Pluto together. And then we'll do the bonus decode, and I'll share with y'all my field research. How are you guys in the chat? Let me just check you real quick and make sure everybody's looking good. All right. All right. It looks like you guys are happy. So I'm going to keep moving on. All right. Let me do it. There we go. Okay. So let's talk about Aries. Let me grab my notes on her. So Venus in Aries is the spark that rises from the ashes. It is the first fire. It is the moment love says, I am willing to burn for what I desire. This is where Venus emerges from the dissolving devotional waters of Pisces and begins the courageous act of becoming someone. No longer content to dream of love, she wants to feel it, not as a universal concept, but as a sharp, blazing truth in her own body. Venus in Aries does not wait to be chosen. She does not ask for permission. She moves towards what calls her, even if it breaks the rules, and especially if it breaks the rules. Pisces taught her how to surrender, and Aries teaches her how to fight, not in a violent way for its own sake. It is the sacred fight, the sacred fire. It's the willingness to be fully seen, to risk failure, and to love out loud. Venus in Aries wants to name her desire, claim her body, and initiate her own erotic story. The longing that stirred beneath the surface in Pisces becomes a living flame in Aries. This is the placement of sacred selfishness, the kind that says, I will not abandon myself to belong. I will not dilute myself to be accepted. I will not collapse to be loved. Venus in Aries dares to be the flame, not the shadow. In doing so, she teaches us that desire is not shameful. It is divine. The Venusian qualities of beauty, pleasure, connection, and creativity all take on the Aries flavor here. Beauty becomes bold. Pleasure becomes immediate. Connection becomes electric and experimental. Creativity becomes impulse, movement, and initiation. This is Venus the Muse as the warrior, the artist as the archer, and the lover as the spark. So her lessons here can be intense. There may be a tendency to rush, to want it all now, to treat love like a conquest or a conflict. Venus in Aries must learn the difference between reaction and response and passion and projection. These lessons come in motion, and she learns by doing, by leaping, by making mistakes, and by growing more luminous each and every time. So stop beating yourself up, Aries Venus. This transition is profound, though, for us moving through it right now in this moment, because Venus was dissolving into the collective in Pisces. She felt everything. She dreamed, she yearned, she released. But there literally comes a point where dreaming becomes avoiding, where yearning becomes a bypass. And so we rise out of the ocean and into the flame. Aries gives her a spine, a name, and a heartbeat. It teaches her how to say no and how to say yes. It affirms her right to declare, this is what I want, and I don't need to explain it to anyone. In Aries, Venus reclaims the divine right to begin again, to want, to pursue, and to create without apology. She reclaims her power not by becoming someone else's idea of the beloved, but by embodying the fullness of her own becoming. We have a direct Venus in Aries, and so the fire is absolutely outward. She's decisive, immediate, and instinctual. Desire sparks quickly, and action follows without hesitation. Direct Venus in Aries wants to feel alive in the pursuit itself. She thrives on bold creation, fearless initiation, and the thrill of the beginning. Her beauty is expressed through courage, her love through momentum, and her pleasure through motion. When Venus is retrograde, which we won't talk about, we will talk about the evening star, Venus. All right, so the Venus in Aries as the evening star is the initiator, the fierce spark, the flame that comes first. Evening star Venus in Aries often arrives like a lightning bolt. She does not wait to be asked. She does not weigh the consequences. She leaps. This Venus wants to taste the world, kiss with her whole mouth, and create with her whole body. She is raw, instinctual, and unfiltered. There's an innocence to her fire, but it is not naive. It's just primordial. Evening star Venus in Aries is here to awaken. Some of you may have morning star Venuses. If you're born with morning star, it's a little different. So she's been to hell and back. She's faced the silence. She has felt the absence and the ache. That's not this Venus right now in transit, but this, you may have this. So this Venus rises before the sun and carries the glow of what she has lived through. She's way deeper, refined by the descent. It still initiates, but the fire is informed by memory, right? When you've been burned, you don't do the same thing twice. And the beauty there is the wisdom. There's a presence, somewhat still impulsive, but it's a holy impulse shaped by everything she has endured. So both are sacred, both are necessary. One clears the path and the other remembers the way. Are you getting wolf vibes? I am. Evening star opens, morning star integrates, and together they show us that fire is not one thing. It is a spectrum. It is a cycle. It is a language, and it speaks through you. So when we have Venus transiting through Aries, the collective is sparked into motion. Love becomes bold, impulsive, and alive. This is the fire after the deep surrender of Pisces. Desire takes the lead. Creativity erupts from instinct. Relationships ignite quickly and call for honesty, autonomy, and passion. Venus in Aries doesn't wait for permission. She claims what she wants and teaches us to do the same. So during this transit, we are invited to initiate, to act on inspiration, and to remember that being seen is not a risk. It is a right. Love begins again, and we are all the flame that lights the match. So if you're walking through this with us, then you're being asked to start something here. You're being asked to remember that pleasure isn't something you earn. It's something you claim as yours. You're being asked to also trust your instincts. Let desire be a compass for the next 2 weeks and see what happens. Let your body speak. Let yourself be seen in the raw truth of your becoming. Don't tone it down. Don't wait your turn. Don't hold back any holy wanting. You are the fire and you are the flint and you are the divine spark that knows how to begin again and again and again. So that's Aries and Venus. Venus and Aries. Pluto complicates things, you guys. Pluto can be a very difficult energy. So let's think about this for a little bit. If we have Venus and Pluto together, this is not a light encounter. This is initiation into the mysteries of desire, of death, of rebirth, of decay. Venus is the goddess of attraction, beauty, embodied pleasure, and she steps into the underworld of Pluto. Sovereign, into the underworld of Pluto, the sovereign of transformation, shadow, and power. That's his realm. And their meeting awakens a frequency capable of both annihilation and resurrection. It's not light energy, okay? There's no like, hey, how you doing over here? It's literally depth, truth, surrender when you're facing it. Pluto will not tolerate illusions. In fact, it will strip it away, revealing the raw essence of what lies beneath. And Venus, when touched by this force, sheds her layers of performance and stands in her most radiant authenticity. So you see, it raises the stakes of this Aries Venus a little bit. Their union reveals a beauty that isn't fragile, but indestructible. It's the beauty of transmutation. Love can become a forge for alchemy. So you could have a deep passion for someone and they for you. And together you guys, conquer the world. That's what this would feel like if it was, hitting all the right frequencies for you. Manifestation arises not through just desiring something, but also through the crucible of release. Like, what are you getting rid of, too? It's the frequency of the phoenix rising, of sacred intimacy that burns away what's false and leaving only what is eternal. Without awareness, the connection between Venus and Pluto can be distorted into the energy of control, obsession, jealousy, manipulation, even violence. Erotic energy can be weaponized. Power can be sought at the cost of connection. And these patterns reveal the shadow of trauma and karmic entanglement demanding to be seen and healed. However, friends, we are going to approach this with reverence. It can become a sacred teacher. It shows that pleasure is not indulgence, but purification. It can also teach that true intimacy cannot be possessed, only surrendered to. Venus magnetizes, Pluto penetrates. Together, they reveal that desire itself is the path. So here, love becomes the fire and creation becomes the resurrection. And it's a square. So, yeah, so squaring Venus is usually the best square you could ever have. But if you do it with the nastiest planet, which I don't think Pluto's so nasty, I think he's really misunderstood. Um, then you here, I'll just give you what this is. Venus plus Pluto in a square. Now, some of you may have this natally in your chart, so this might resonate for you natally, and you would have to look at that and see the positions of your Venus and Pluto. But in general, for our mundane astrology, for all the creative energy that's out there and all the underworld darkness energy out there, how are these two archetypes going to interact? It's one of the most soul forging configurations in astrology, right? So if you're born with this, it reveals an internal pressure that demands recognition, transformation, and integration. This isn't an easy path. Particularly for those who are attuned to the feminine current of love and creation, the square presses relentlessly, initiating a lifelong path into the mysteries of intimacy, desire, and power. If those of you that are born with this have this, you might carry deep emotional imprints of betrayal, abandonment, being controlled. Relationships might feel consuming, overwhelming, or even threatening at times. Love itself can stir fears, vulnerability, or annihilation. Pleasure may arrive tangled with guilt, and desire might be bound up in power struggles. And these are not to punish you. These are invitations into the underworld of the self, where truth and resilience wait to be uncovered. So as over time, and there's a gift here. Okay, so there's a gift with the square of Venus and Pluto. It's the shadow work. It's calling you to retrieve the fragments of your Venusian essence that were buried beneath fear or shame. From this descent, a new Venus can rise that's no longer fragile, waiting to be chosen. She's magnetic because she remembers her sovereignty. Her beauty is forged in fire, unshakable in its authenticity. Creatively, this creates or generates work of extraordinary intensity. So if you're a creator and you have this in your chart, you will express what others are afraid to feel, especially if you've done your shadow work and you've integrated. Your art pierces, heals, shows things that are ugly. And your very presence can act as a catalyst for other people to confront their own shadows. Yet this power does not come from control. It's because of your courage. It's because you've done that inner work and to love what was once unloved within yourself, right? Because Pluto's unlovable, right? That's what we think of him anyway. He's sort of unlovable, untouchable, cold, right? But the Pluto square with her teaches that power and vulnerability are not necessarily enemies. These two can be together. They are the two sides of the same truth. We don't have to sacrifice and distort to be loved. We can love through clarity, through truth, through authenticity, and for reverence of our own self. This square becomes a force of alchemy, channeling love as transformation and beauty as resurrection. So the way I've been seeing this is there may be something this week that we have to do that's hard. It aligns with that full moon. And full moons are when we release things. Right? Once we have the full moon and it's time to harvest and it's time to replant, so we have to let things go. Pluto's all about the clearing and the releasing and stepping from one sign to the other, from Pisces to Aries is also like a new beginning. So there's something here that we're all going to have to do that's just a little bit hard, but it's required for our transformation. It's required to move through this energy aligned to yourself, to your soul, to your highest timeline. All right. So what I'm going to do now is take you guys through the rising signs of, and I will tell you where the current Venus and Pluto are in your chart. So I can tell you Gemini rising, Aries, Venus. I will tell you the houses that Venus and Pluto are affecting for you. So hopefully that can get you through this. You just need to know your ascendant. For those of you that do not know your birth time, this may or may not work for you. Okay. So don't fear. You just listen to them all. We're going to go through them really quickly. There may be one or two that resonate with you. So just, examine that, think about that. And that can be useful advice for you. It's okay. It doesn't have to be specific. But if you know your birth time, then you're going to put that into the calculator that I pinned in the chat. Okay. So if you can go to that free chart calculator, if that's still in the chat with you guys, go there. And let me open that. Yeah, I think it should still be there, hopefully. Yeah, it's still there. Click on that, put your details in, and this sign over here is your ascendant. So that is Aries rising. Okay? And I'm gonna also align the wheel on the screen so that you can also see it, because I'm a visual learner, and I know a lot of you are because of the way I teach. Okay, I may or may not put timestamps. It just depends on how much time I have this evening. So we will see. But all right, so everybody get your rising signs ready, and let's go ahead and turn the wheel. I'm going to escape this presentation, and we'll go to TrueSkyMasteringTheZodiac.com. And I'm going to start with Aries. So what I need to do that right now, is Venus already in Aries? Let's go back. Let's do right now. Oh, she is. Oh my God. This is so cool. How the moment we're getting into the rising signs that she's literally into Aries at 0 degrees. This is based on the midpoint boundaries though, by the way. So we're here right now. What I'm going to do to get Aries on the ascendant is I'm just going to go back a couple hours. It'll say Pisces again, but this is for the visual learners. Okay. So if you are Aries rising, Mars is your chart ruler, and you will have Venus in your 12th house and Pluto in your 9th house in Capricorn. Do you see that? I can't draw on my screen with Restream, but hopefully you can see this. So this square means that there is a 12th house energy applying to your 9th house. Venusian energy is coming and challenging your 9th house Capricorn energy in a very Aries way. Okay. So that's why we wanted to read it this way, so that you can understand, for you Aries risings, what you're going to be thinking about in your own life. And so while I'm explaining Aries, this will be the pattern for each of the rising signs as we move through it. So if you guys are ready, go ahead and shout out your rising signs in the chat. And I'll add some timestamps later for those of you that are listening later once the video is processed. All right, let's go. So Aries rising, Venus 12th house, applying a square to a 9th house Capricorn, Pluto. So this could be different for even all the Aries risings listening, because you might actually have Venus in Aries. If you do, then this is your chart and you're having a Venus return. You could have, and you could also have, Venus could be over here opposing your natal Venus. I don't know that. This is specific as I can get. So hopefully this will help some of you. All right. So this is the self versus the inner life versus the belief systems, right? You've been following maybe a philosophy, a teacher, or a spiritual system, but in solitude, something feels off, right? You maybe there's a teacher that you're just sort of like, you feel like you're smarter than them all of a sudden, or you feel like what they're saying, it's just kind of run out of steam. And you're supposed to do that. Like, you shouldn't be with your teacher forever. You should learn what you can learn and move on to the next teacher. I mean, that's what I do. I learn as much as I can from people that have wisdom that I remember, that I want to remember. And then I find the next person that has that wisdom, because I'm constantly searching for wisdom. So this is the inner life versus that belief system. So you're going to ask yourself, Aries rising, do I believe in this anymore? And you are going to just leave. path. There's really nothing that's going to be sparkly, or you don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to like blurt it out to the world. It's just an internal decision that's made, and you leave that path. So this is inherited belief structures that are dissolving. This one actually might be the only one that's easy to do because it's not outward. It doesn't have a lot of fire like all the other signs do. So for Aries rising, this is going to be a dissolution of belief. Now, for Taurus rising, if we move this forward an hour and we put Taurus in the ascendant, right here, we have Venus in the 11th house, making a square to Pluto in the 8th house. Very different energy than 12 and 9, right? So because of this position when you were born, based on your rising sign, this can feel very different for you. I'm a Taurus rising, so this will be most resonant for me when I think about what's going to be happening in my life during this square and during this full moon. It's going to be about community versus entanglements, right? I'm part of a group or a collaboration that feels exciting. But underneath of that, there are power dynamics, there's unclear boundaries, there's emotional entanglements. I'm definitely feeling that. Anytime I work with another collaborator, they all have different energies. And they all want to work with you just a little bit differently. Or they will some people want to work their way and no way. Some people also want to adapt and work with you. And so it's a very interesting energy. I definitely feel that whenever I tap on a collaborator or they tap on me. It's like, where are we going with this? What's going to happen next? That can happen with relationships as well. Because the 8th house is also about entanglements, power dynamics, and the deeper emotional energies. So, what could potentially happen here for Taurus is like you just get a oogie feeling about something, right? Like this relationship was fun or this friendship was fun, but I'm just not feeling it. This isn't for me anymore. So even if it had potential, even if it had momentum, you can let go of something here. Around your communities, around ideas, around collaborations, you can let it go. It's fine. It's not a big deal. You don't force anything here, Taurus rising. You guys never do anyway. But here it may have to do with other people, and you may put more importance on how they feel about it than you should, because they're the reason it's dissolving, the reason it has to be let go of is because it's not the same vibration. Okay, so that's for Taurus rising. That's for us. All right, if we go back just a little bit more, we're gonna get into oops, let me go forward. Sorry. Forward. We're going to get into Gemini rising. So Gemini rising has Jupiter on their ascendant. Gemini risings, you guys want to be careful about your caloric intake while Jupiter is moving through your first house, because you can gain anywhere from 5 to 15 pounds with this transit, just depending on, it expands everything. First house is your body. So just watch that, Gemini rising. This is very different than Taurus and Aries rising. No, we have 10th and 7th house. So anybody that's going to have a 1st, a 4th, a 7th, or a 10th house connection with Venus and Pluto in either one of those houses, you're going to have 2 of those cardinal angles activated. So this is important for you. So Gemini rising, listen up. This is where you're going to feel this. This is career versus relationship for you, right? So you might realize that your partner doesn't support your growth anymore, or maybe they inhibit your ambitions. Or so you have a choice here to either choose the path over the relationship or redefine the relationship entirely. This is kind of like, I love you, but I can't shrink to stay. I know it's tough, right? It's like there might be somebody that you work with closely or somebody that you partner with in an emotional way, and it might be time to break up. Might be time to hook up too, depending on where you land with your Venus and your Pluto. So a relationship is going to shift in favor of the workspace here. Okay. It's not going to be about, relationship dynamics for you. You are moving. Venus in Aries wants this. She wants the public light, Gemini rising. So you have to do what this Venus wants. And Pluto's going to try and snap her back a little bit. And this is the relationship pulling you back. So you can work with that relationship or you can let it go. And you have that option this month, which I think is really cool. Because I think we should all have that in our relationships, don't you? Like, do we really love each other? Are we till the wheels fall off? Ask yourselves that question. Not in a way to like make the other person feel bad, but like, hey, are you happy with me? Am I happy with you? And if the answer is still yes, like keep going. But if it's not, if somebody questions that, then you have an opportunity to not drag out a heartbreak for years and years and years. I mean, how many of you have hung on to a relationship just to like you knew it was over, a year or two or three or even a month or two before it was over? You don't have to do that right now. If you're Gemini rising, you've got the scissors in your hand, so you're allowed to make the cuts. Okay, let's move on. Cancer rising. So yet again, very different energy. You're going to have Venus in your 9th house squaring back to Pluto in your 6th. So what does this feel like? This is like your vision, which is the 9th house, right? Your vision versus your daily life, your routines. What are you doing every day? There's something about this big vision that doesn't match what's happening in real life for you. Like the day-to-day drudgery. So you might quit your job. You might change your routine completely. Your daily life is not aligned with your future right now. And Venus moving through here, she's gone through Chiron. She's worked through the shadow. She's integrated. She knows what she wants. She knows who she is. Ooh, and it's right in your house of beliefs, of things that you must do, Cancer rising. So you must look back at the things that you do every day. You must look back at where you work and what you are doing and ask yourself this very simple question. Is it draining you? Do you feel tired when you think you have to do something that you don't want to do? Is there a lot of that? If there is, it's time to make change, because if you say no, you're going to have a lot more energy, a lot more fire to move forward, and you'll be supported here. So that's Cancer rising. Leo rising. Let's get into your next hour. And this puts Venus in the 8th and Pluto right in the 5th, kind of entering or leaving right at the 5th and 6th cusp here. So let me move this forward just a few minutes. It might be easier to see it. So we're still Leo rising, but you can see this is 8th and 5th house. So you can see we're moving around with each of the signs. And you can generally do that with the 12 houses, which are all equal. Okay. So Venus in the 8th squaring back to the 5th house. What does this mean? What is this pinging in your chart if you're a Leo rising? And there's a few of you that are Leo rising where it's kind of like at the cusp of 8 and 9 and 5 and 6, and that's okay. You can read the previous energy for Cancer, or you can jump into this as well. But this is going to be deep bonds versus creative expression. Okay. So there might be a romantic or sexual connection that is consuming your creative energy. Like, for example, you might step back from a passionate relationship because it's literally draining your ability to create. Okay. So you're ripe here, Leo rising, to break away from some kind of relationship, a power dynamic, other people's energy. You are allowed to break free if it's not fun for you. That's literally what you get to do if you want to. If it's not bringing you joy, if it's not helping you, if it's not making you laugh, you can get rid of it, Leo rising. I just did a Leo rising chart before this as a reading. Such great energy. I love Leo rising. Beautiful souls, all of you out there. Not that I don't love all of you, but I love Leo rising the most. I have a favorite. All right, we're getting into Virgo rising. So now this all moves to the 7th house. 7th house squaring back on the 4th house. Ding, ding, guys. This is a cardinal angle. Okay, so pay attention, Virgo rising. You have Venus in your 7th house squaring back to Pluto in your 4th house. So what does that mean? This is relationships versus your home, versus your foundation. So there's going to be a relationship that is not aligned with your emotional truth, right? So here we might end a relationship and move, or the moving might end the relationship, but you can probably see it or feel it coming, Virgo rising. There's something about your house that's undergoing tremendous transfer. It's been that way for a while. So what you could experience here is you no longer feel safe or authentic in your own space. There could be a situation, Virgo rising, where you're at home and you just don't feel safe anymore, right? And you need to change that. You're going to feel that energy is going to be coming for you in the next few days. You will be ready to have peace over partnership. Ooh, that's intense, Virgo rising. All right, let's move on to Libra rising. You guys are really nice too. I love Leo rising or Libra rising. Just really kind people. Libra rising is never going to come at you. They'll never attack you. They'll have their opinions, but they won't like make you feel bad just for the sake of making you feel bad. All right, so we'll have Venus here in your 6th house, squaring to Pluto in your 3rd. So raise your hand if you're a Libra rising, and Scorpio, 6th to 3rd, Libra rising is work versus communication. Okay. So this is your work environment is tied to how you speak or think. So there's going to be an opportunity here for you to stop participating in conversations that feel false. If you don't, again, this is another, when it was 6 to 9, when it was, earlier, when they were in the 9th and 6th, but now it's 6 and 9, this is different. This is what energizes you, what makes you feel good. Okay. And you might have to let go of people that are not, willing to see you, willing to help you, willing to push you, give you support. All right. There might be some people like spreading lies about you or doing things that just are not true. And you've got to break away from that kind of environment. It's not for you. Okay. You're not here to do other people's dramas. You are here to break free from that. You are here to get authenticity and truth, Libra rising. So if there's any crowds or social situations like where people just are not showing their authentic self, you do not have to put up with it. You have every right to remove that from your life. All right, Libra rising. That's good. Okay, let's go into Scorpio and Ophiuchus. I put you guys together in one reading because y'all are just the same star field. They're not actually next to each other. So if you've got something right here at the very beginning of Scorpio, it's all Scorpio. It's Scorpio and Ophiuchus. It's like a winding staircase. And Scorpio just kind of lifts you up into the arms of Ophiuchus. Okay. So this is all one star field. And it doesn't change really the placement of Venus. It's going to be in your 5th house, and Pluto will be in your 2nd house. Okay, guys. So a 5-2 square is what you enjoy versus what is it worth, right? So something that you love is not actually supporting your value, right? You're not doing it anymore. So you have to stop offering something creatively. You either have to stop offering something or you have to raise your prices, right? This is an energy of you doing what you love, but undervaluing yourself, right? You're not giving yourself enough credit here. Or if there's somebody not giving you enough credit, then this is the moment where you like all of a, aha, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to charge the prices I think I'm worth, because you are worth it. You create value with what you create. I mean, your stories, your writings, your videos, your music, your paintings, your advice, the work you do with your hands, all of that is a value, and it serves the creator. It serves someone else as well. And so that is worth something. Don't give that away. Um, the reciprocity is what's important. The exchange is what's important. So if you're not getting what you deserve, I think here, Scorpio and Ophiuchus, you can either you have the opportunity here to break away from that and to really ground yourself in some strong self-worth energy that's going to carry you pretty far. I've actually read a couple of Scorpio and Ophiuchus risings this week, and it's the same message even through the whole lunar cycle. Okay, you guys are about to break open and really show what's happening. So that's cool. All right, let's see. Who do we have left? We have Sagittarius rising. Now, Sagittarius rising has a 4th house squaring back to the first house. If there's any sign that's going through an ego death right now, it's y'all Sagittarius risings, because Pluto is moving through your first house of Capricorn. And so y'all are changing. Your ego is being stripped away and built back up, and then stripped away again and then built back up. You're figuring out who you are from the basest, most authentic frequency. And as Pluto gets closer to your second house, you can begin to build from that authentic frequency. So this is a cardinal angle, so pay attention, Sagittarius rising, if you're watching. Venus is squaring back to Pluto from the 4th house to the 1st house. So cardinal angles again, right? This is home versus identity. So the environment is shaping who you are, and not necessarily in a good way. So, for example, you might need to move, you might need to leave a family dynamic, or completely redefine your identity in order for this to square up. And really the catchphrase here is, I cannot become who I am here in this place. Okay. So it's either radically change who you are, which you're sort of already doing, or change the environment, change the location. And so that may be in the future for you, Sagittarius rising. Okay. Let's go forward a little bit and move on to Capricorn rising. And then we'll do Aquarius, and then we'll be done. These take a while, but they're fun, they're worth it. It brings it home a little bit for you, and that's what I want. So here we have Venus in the 3rd house squaring back to Pluto in the 12th house. So while Taurus rising had the 12th and the 9th house, Capricorn rising has the 12th and the 3rd house square. So what does this feel like? Well, from the 3rd house to the 12th house is the mind versus the subconscious. Guys, you Capricorn rising, you might notice that your thoughts are actually not your own. How many of you are like picking up on frequencies that are not yours? I get that sometimes when I spend a lot of time in a busy, crowded area. I'll get like I'll get people's feelings. I'll get their thoughts. It's not clear, but I hear them. I could be crazy, but let me know if you feel that, Capricorn rising, because I think that's a thing. So it's like what you have to do here is reclaim your internal voice. You want to stop engaging in certain mental patterns. You want to pull back from constant input, and notice which thoughts are your own and which are not. All right, let's get into Aquarius rising, and then that'll wrap it up. We have Venus in not the video. I still have more for you, but this will wrap up the rising signs for you. So Aquarius rising, you have Venus in the 2nd house and Pluto in the 11th house. So this is going to mean, we also have to do Pisces rising. This is going to mean that there's a value versus community, right? I am not valued here. You're going to want to leave a community that no longer values what you provide. So a network, you're going to stop contributing. So let's say you're volunteering for something. You're no longer going to do that anymore, because all of a sudden your time becomes more valuable to you than the idea of what you were doing. And that's going to be a shift for you. That's probably pretty mild. So leaving a place where you're not wanted, that's pretty easy. I mean, that would be easy for me. I don't know. But for you, Aquarius rising, it may not be an easy thing to do. So we shall see. All right. And now Pisces rising, you are the last one. We'll go forward one more hour. And that puts Venus in the 1st house, because we had Venus in the 12th house before. So let's go one more hour. We have a 1st and 10th house. Again, another cardinal angle square. So Pisces rising, pay attention. The 1st and 10th house is self versus public life. So you've built a career or a public identity that people respect, but it's actually not you anymore, maybe, Pisces rising, right? Maybe you're known for a brand or a content or a role, and it's really successful and it works. But internally, like, you feel false, you feel fake, you feel outdated, bored even, right? So what you're going to do is publicly pivot. You're going to change your message. You might risk losing your reputation, but really this Venus doesn't care anymore. She's feeling this. right? You don't have to ask permission. None of you do. You could say, I would rather be seen accurately than admired incorrectly here. That would be a very nice way to experience that square. So that's that energy. That is the Pluto square. I know that took a little while. If you guys are up for it, we can keep going. I'm happy to keep going. I have a little bit more for you. So let me know if you want to keep going. Of course you do. You guys like long form content. All right, let's keep going. Let's go back to the presentation. And let me just run some announcements by you guys real quick here. Make sure you guys are knowing all the beautiful things that are going on in my world. I don't really have a whole lot of things, but this is the moment of the show where we just take a minute to think about these things. If you're not a member over on Patreon, you can join that for free. You can also join the Stargazers and join our monthly call. It'll be a Zoom call this month. Actually, I might try to go live to Patreon, but stay tuned. I have chosen the date for that, and it is on. Let me go back a few slides because I remember when I said it's going to be the Monday the 13th. I think that's when we're going to do that. So keep that in your mind for the Stargazers new moon Zoom call. We're going to be before the new moon because I want you guys ready for this this new moon. You're going to get your video next week that you can look at earlier, and then we'll meet together, and then I'll release it to the general public. Not our call, but the new moon video. So that's the day for that. That's coming. I need you guys' opinion on this for those of you that are on Patreon. Do you like the dailies over there? Because I find that Patreon sends emails, and sometimes emails are a little bit bothersome to me, but if it doesn't bother you, I can keep doing them over there. If you like it, let me know, and I will keep doing that. If you're okay with me not doing it, then I'm gonna keep them on YouTube and Twitter and let Vishal do Facebook for me. Just trying to figure out where all the pieces are gonna fall. Here are my new stargazers. I don't think I have the newest ones on here, but these are my new stargazers. We're starting our list over again, and that's okay because we want to build from a strong foundation where like nobody can f with us. We'll be unfuckable with in this stargazers group over here on Patreon. I can't have like the threat of YouTube deciding that they're gonna take it down. I'm also not monetizing my live streams anymore, so I don't think you guys can super chat me, which is cool, because, like, literally, they're gonna just put watch page ads in there and then also make you watch an ad. I just realized that, so that's not a thing anymore. If you guys love the content so far, free support is just giving me a thumbs up and hyping this video. You can subscribe if you're lurking. You can also share this content with people that have never seen the real sky before. This might be a great share for them. You never know. Also, you can join the Fellowship of 13 Signs over on Facebook. That's where I leave all my announcements, all my writings. And again, we just talked about Patreon. I do readings. I have a course. I have many courses. I also have the book, The 13th Sign, Ophiuchus in the Astrology. They don't want you to see. That's what the book cover looks like. Links are below for that. I appreciate you getting that and looking at it. Let's get into this fun decode. When I was learning how to do numerology and the cards and stuff, everything was a decode for me. It was just like I just was seeing the world through the matrix, and it was coming at me so fast. I feel like some of my presentations were a little uncoherent or maybe too much for us to follow. And so I just put it down for a while because I was just having all these technical issues. I kept coming up on dead ends, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to focus on the astrology because that's where I'm really comfortable and I like it. And it's been helping me move through this other energy where there's a lot of expansion. And when I was looking at the astrology for Venus and Pluto and Aries, April Fool's Day is this full moon tomorrow. So the fool came up for me. And so the fool and the wolf are very much energies that we are going to think about and analyze for the next little bit of this presentation. Because I want you to walk away from here like not scared about the square to Pluto because there's really nothing to be scared about. You're going to be fine. You're going to live through it no matter what happens. I promise. but how to look at life like a game a little bit. Because everything is coded here. Everything is encoded in some sort of program, some sort of master script. And while it feels like we are weaving and casting spells and making things happen, it remains to be seen whether we're the ones doing it or if it's already like that, right? And synchronicities are guides. Synchronicities are saying, yes, you are on the right path. You're doing the right thing. So I got a lot of synchronicities when I was studying this. And I have to present for you the Fool and the Wolf decode. My favorite cipher by far is Phi cipher. Okay. If you guys don't know what a cipher is, basically like gematria. It turns a word into a number. And the English gematria cipher is A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4. Well, this cipher uses the numbers of the golden mean. So 1.61803333, etc. So you go through the entire alphabet A to Z through the irrational digits of phi. And you can put your numbers in, your words in here, your letters, and it gives you numbers and you can get a digit. And I got 21. Now, why is 21 a big deal? Well, 21 is a Fibonacci number. Um, there's so many beautiful things about it. Reduces to a 3. Let's get into this number. We're going to see this a lot today. So, first of all, phi itself is 21 if you spell it out and put it in the phi cipher. It's also the 21st letter in the Greek alphabet. So phi and 21 get along really nicely. And when I saw wolf was 21, it was like, all right, yeah, that's hitting my funny bone. I need to look at this. All right, so that's what we're going to explore, the wolf. The wolf card comes up in the medicine deck, and it's got such a beautiful description. So I wanted to share that with you because I got immediately, even before I pulled this card, even before I typed these words into the cipher, that the wolf energy was important. So I am going to read that for you. The wolf arrives as the moment your body knows before your mind agrees. This is literally Venus leading the pack, walking through the gate of Aries. It's instinct sharpened by awareness, not chaos, not impulse without direction, but precise and embodied truth. Wolf does not ask for permission, and it does not move for the sake of movement. It watches, it feels, and when the signal is clear, it acts without hesitation. When this card appears, something within you is no longer willing to stay in misalignment. Do you see that's the square I just read to every single one of you rising signs, right? You are no longer allowed or willing to be in misalignment. You may still be standing at the edge, which is the Fool, but the decision has already been made beneath the surface. Okay. The wolf is the part of you that trusts your knowing enough to move anyway. This is huge. You know, I'm sort of like dreaming and getting visions about this, and I'm bringing this through for you, and I'm trying to find, like the words and the numbers and the cards and the astrology to connect it all together for you, because that's actually how it works. And so I just offer this to you as another way to feel into the energy that's coming. Another reason why I like 21, why I like phi, is this right here. Many of you have seen me do this. If you haven't seen me show this video, hopefully I put the right one in there. Maybe there we go. The microstation video. This is Earth in the middle. This is Sun, and this is Venus. And we're going to trace a line with Venus's movement. So watch this line. Look at this. Do you see that? Do you see what that is right there? That's a spiral. That's a Fibonacci spiral. A golden phi spiral. So let me show you. We'll keep going. So when the sun was over here, or when Venus was over here, and we began this tracing, she was on the other side of the sun. This was a superior conjunction. And this moment right here is the inferior conjunction. And we are right in the middle of this compression wave. Okay, so let's watch the rest of that. Each one of these points are 20 months apart. So 20 months, 20 months, 20 months. And This takes 8 years to complete this full pattern. It creates a 5-petaled star, and it takes 13 Venus orbits to do this. So you tell me how, if that's a coincidence, that we have 5, 8, and 13 encoded in the physical orbits of these luminaries in their orbital resonance periods. Coincidence? Maybe. No. I think that the actual ether is mathematic, geometric, and these orbits emerge from that state. That's literally what happens. So you see this? This is sacred geometry. This is symmetry. This is beauty. This is why Venus is so amazing. This is why we look at phi. This is why we understand the mathematics. Okay, so there it is. There's your spiral. There's your Fibonacci sequence. There's the number 21. The ether is made of this geometric structure. And when energy, creative force, thought energy, spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it, moves through the ether, oscillates the ether, it creates this compression wave. And that's where creation, that's where thoughts become things, literally within this compression wave. Here's the ether, the structure of it. Here's the phi star that we just drew in the sky with Venus, Earth, and Sun. So there you have that. There's your Fibonacci countdown. We are actually counting down to one of these compression waves in real physical time, scaled up to planetary time and distance. It happens within us in an instant. At the atomic level, at the Planck level, happens within an instant. But we get to separate this. We get to watch astrology and calendars and sun movements through this entire arc of time. The Fibonacci spiral, the golden spiral. Okay, so that's why I like 21. That's why we like phi. Another reason why Venus and phi are so synchronous is because, well, if you look at the ratio of the orbital period, 225 days to 365 days, Venus and Earth, you do that, and you can do it in your calculator right now, you get phi. You get phi. I mean, there it is. That's the relationship between these two planets. That's this video. Well, I'm not going to make you watch it again, but that's that relationship. It's a phi relationship. And to me, that's mathematics. That's ratios. That's proportions. That's divine symmetry. And it is divine in general. Aries, if you spell that in our phi cipher, we also get 21. So that's very interesting. A couple other associations. Aries is 21 and April is also 21. Then we have April Fools, because that's tomorrow, right? April Fool's Day. And I might be stretching this a little bit, but April's 21, Fools is 33. And then we have 54 right here. But let me show you these connections. Aries Venus is 41. Now, why do I care about that? Well, let me show you all how 21, 20, 33, 40, how they're all connected. It's math, and it's amazing. 41 is the 13th prime. And 13, when you spell it out, is 33. So there's that connection. When you look at 20 in the periodic table, I didn't bring that one up, but if you look at that, that's calcium, and you see the spiral shell on that picture. You can't make that up, right? It's the phi spiraling in towards itself, creating the compression wave of creation. Tomorrow also has a card in the playing card system, the day that Venus moves into Aries, and also the Virgo full moon. It's the 7 of spades. The 7 of spades is the 46th card in that deck. Full moon is also 46 in the phi cipher. It's just so cool that there's more than one layer here, showing that this day is kind of supposed to be a full moon. Let that sink in. And then here's another, just tying these two back together. The numeric string of 46 is at the 70th, which is 7, decimal digit of the golden phi string. So if we take that string of digits and that irrational and go beyond A to Z, and we just keep going, it goes on forever. That's why it's irrational. If we go to digit number 70, we're going to have the number 46. So 7 and 46 are connected. That's the underlying code. We just kind of peeled in through the day, but we got the underlying code right there. So that's very interesting. Let's see what else we have. 411 or 412 or 41 of 2026, which is tomorrow, is the number 15 if you add all the numbers together. So 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 is 15, right? And then the 15th card in that medicine deck that we read about is the wolf. Again, I'm not making this up. I'm not trying to like trick you or anything. This is just, these are the underlying, this is why you get synchronicities when things happen, when things are cool. Like when you're in the flow, this is how they come together. So when I always check my numbers. I don't always display it to you, but I always check it. I always make sure, hey, am I in the right place? Because when the trail runs dry, there may be nothing there. There might not actually be a connection there. So that's just really cool to me. I also wanted to look at the number 21 on the I Ching. And my jaw nearly hit the floor when I saw it. Hopefully you guys can see that. But it says biting through. Biting through. That's just amazing to me that the I Ching, gate 21, this little glyph right here, means biting through. What comes up for you in your mind when you hear biting through? What is that? Well, here's the card. Here's what you can say. This is the moment when something obstructing truth can no longer be avoided and must be confronted directly. There is resistance, something hardened in the way. Clarity has already arrived and action is now required. Softness or delay is actually more dangerous. Are you getting my meaning here? This square that you guys are going to be feeling through Venus and Pluto, through your various houses, means you really don't have to ask for permission or wait anymore. It's time to be precise. Decisive engagement that cuts through what's false, tangled, or out of alignment. The discomfort is part of the process. It's not a signal to stop. Just as teeth must apply pressure to break through what is tough, you are being asked to lean into the tension and resolve it. This is justice in motion and the restoration of integrity. So once you act, the blockage clears and life begins to move again. So there you have it. Even the number 20. So this episode of Dr. Danny's Real Sky has been brought to you by the wolf and the number 21. So you're not asking for permission anymore. That's really the message of this live stream and this energy that we're going through. Just do it. Whatever you want. The energy's here for you to receive it. All right, before I get into that, let me just check in with you guys. I might wait for the next live stream to talk about that, but I will talk about it real quick. Actually, let me just say something about it real quick. So, all right, false alarm. I'm going to go back in. Here we go. Going back in. I just want to say a quick word about this. Why I wanted to look at this and look at what you guys are experiencing. Because really the best data is what are you moving through? What are you feeling through right now in your life and during certain times of the day and when certain planets do certain things, when the moons do certain things. If we can get real strong evidence that these things are happening to us in real time, then it solidifies our stance that astrology actually works and helps us. So I asked you my favorite time of day. I just was sort of going through it, like thinking about ideas, what to teach you guys. And I was like, God, I really love dusk. I love right after sunset. This is just last week. It's so beautiful. There's this orange glow that hooks up the entire horizon. It's all the way around. They call that the apron or the ring of Venus. And it's just really beautiful, especially when you can see Venus herself and you've got this waxing crescent moon. It's just so beautiful. And so what I did is I said, all right, well, our houses, which is why I went through your rising signs, which is why I went through the specific houses with you guys, was to bring to your attention that in your chart, these houses, just like the signs represent certain seasons for tropical, the houses represent certain times of day. Okay? Right? So this is sunrise on this side. Let me get my pen out. This is sunrise over here, and this is sunset. This is high noon, and this is the middle of the morning down here. All right. And it's about 2 hours per house. So this would be, like 6 to 8 a.m. would be like here. 6 to 8 a.m. would be here. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. would be here. 10 to 12 would be here. 12 to 2, 2 to 4. I like this time of day too. 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to midnight, midnight to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6. Okay, so you see it's like a clock. I can write that out. Let me do that. Let me do 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. This is military time, by the way. 20, 22. Did I do that right? Yeah, 24, 2, 4, and 6. So these are the hours, okay? And so I said, all right, if dusk is my favorite time of day, what's in my chart that's in that time of day, right? So you can do that. If you know your birth time, you can literally like take your chart and see. So for like somebody who's an Aries rising, they could go over to the right side of their, I don't know why this is turned like this. This is my chart. You could go over to the right side of the chart and see what is in your descendant if the favorite time of day is dusk and look at that chart. So I guess ignore this ring. I guess that's why I did it that way. And you would look at Virgo to see, what's happening over there. What's activating in your chart during the hours of 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Because that's exactly how it can potentially work. That's where the sun usually is. All right. So I asked you guys, what is your rising sign? The ascendant sign. What system do you use, tropical or sidereal? I prefer you give me a sidereal answer, but if you give me tropical, I'm okay with that too. I just have to translate it into what we're doing. Tell me what your favorite time of day is, and then why. That's all. And you don't really have to answer that. But if you could do that in the chat for me, guys, or if you could do that in the comments below, I would really appreciate it because I need more data. I only have 32 that I've counted, although there's a few more that are still. So I have 10 more that I need to add to this because I added them just before this presentation. And I just wanted to show you how it broke out. Like, so who answered and what rising signs were they in? And in the initial one, I didn't get a Pisces. I think Pisces and Capricorn and Aquarius left themselves out of that. But in the new set of data, I have a couple of you. Virgo was overwhelmingly the highest responder because Virgo wants to know exactly what's going on, wants to analyze the data right with you. So I think that's really cute and funny. Missing were Pisces, Aquarius, and Capricorn. However, like I said, I did get some new data from another Facebook group, and that has added a few of you in there. But I'd like to get to 100. I'd like to see if we can get that much data. Because these are the 3 that did not respond. And if you notice, they're all together. And it's the morning side of the chart. So I guess the morning people are less inclined to either answer polls or questions or don't really have an opinion one way or the other. So that's who was missing. This is broken down by what time of day you guys liked. So some of you like, if you already answered, don't answer again. You're totally perfect. If you have not answered this, I'd love to hear from you. So like pre-dawn, like 3 a.m. early morning. So from 3 a.m. to like 6 a.m., that kind of early morning phase. Many of you like that. And another 8 of you also liked sunrise. So on either side, that first or 12th house, you guys like that time of day. And then sunset was also liked a lot. So between all of these, the dusk and the sunset, the right before dawn and the right after dusk were nice. And then a few of you liked the midnight and evening and noon and afternoon. So that's how it broke down. But like I said, we need more data because a data point of 1 is interesting, but to see the trends, we need more people. I sorted out by rising sign. So the Virgos that answered, 3 of you like pre-dawn and 2 of you like sunrise and 2 of you like early morning. So Virgos are definitely morning people. And Libras, let's see, they like pre-dawn and sunset. Leo likes dusk and noon. Cancer likes pre-dawn, morning, evening. So Cancer likes the nighttime. Taurus, there's 3 of us that love the dusk. and the morning equally. Aries, there's like one of each for sunrise, dusk, and 3 a.m., but definitely not a midday person. Scorpio is 2 for sunrise, 1 for afternoon, which is kind of surprising. You'd think Scorpios would be gloomy, but they're not. Gemini, 1 sunrise and 1 variable. It depends. And then Sagittarius was midnight and pre-dawn. Ophiuchus is sunrise and early morning. So that's how I've broken it down so far. But like I said, I'd love to get more data from you. 17 chose Twilight out of the 32 as their favorite. Either one or the other, so 50-50 split on that. 28 out of 32 preferred the nighttime hours, and 4 out of 32 preferred the daytime hours. So you guys are all night owls and love to be in the nighttime energy, and very few of you like the daytime hours, which I appreciate. I get it too. So those are my conclusions. So please do answer those questions. And I am officially done with the presentation. So now we can just hang out and chat, and I can answer questions if you guys got them. If not, that's okay too. So hopefully that was fun and entertaining, and we kept you engaged during the discussion today. All right. Let's put your chats in here so I can see what you guys are talking about. We'll chat for a few minutes. I smell some very good dinner being cooked right now, and I really want to go see what's happening out there. Let's see. Kaki gave me a smile. Thank you so much. Ultimus Hastings says 5 by 5. I thought you were a moderator, Ultimus. I need to fix you. At Nature's Place is a Leo ascendant, early morning. Yeah, if you have already answered the poll, you do not have to answer again. But if you have not answered it and you would not mind, just it takes you 3 seconds to think of that and put that in the comments. I'd appreciate you so much. I can look at the comments later, so you can go ahead and add those if you want to. Mary Mystic Lorna says the angels are not whispering, the wolf is roaring. Yeah, did you see all those connections? It's and the way it came together, I presented it linearly to you, but that's not how it worked. Like I was thinking about Venus and Aries like 3 weeks ago. And the wolf energy came through. It came through a vision. Okay. And so I didn't even start playing with the cipher until yesterday. I was like, what does wolf say? I wasn't even going to put that in there, but then all of it just blew up. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. So I love the connection. Thank you, Heidi, Soul Level Wellness. Appreciate you. Laura loves the medicine deck. Christine says 21 is my ancestral number. Oh, that's cool. All right. Christina is also one of our Stargazer crew. She survived the wreckage of the Starship YouTube, and we have been picked up by the Starship Patreon, and we will stay over there on that deal. All right. Just looking at your comments just to see what you guys are saying. Mostly a lot of placement, which is good. Oh, Lady Spellbreaker, thank you for being here and putting my links and stuff up. I really appreciate you. Yeah, you can join us over there on the Facebook. Yeah. All right. Beautiful souls. I swear, you guys are such a good community. We didn't even really need a moderator, did we? Kaki says there's a line from my Venus to my Pluto and Uranus. Is it a red line or a blue line? If it's a blue line, that's a good thing. Well, they're both good. Just means if it's a red line, it means you're already used to the energy. Thank you so much for your beautiful messages. If anybody has a question or a comment. Cool. Someone to be's here. Or at least you were a little while ago. Just wanted to say hello and recognize you. Beautiful, beautiful souls. Let's see. Oh, Jennifer's here. Hi, Jen. Good to see you. Thanks for being a stargazer. and surviving the wreckage with us. April's also a wreckage survivor. Thank you so much. Conspirazan says hello, hello. Thank you, thank you. All right. Kaki, is today your birthday? Oh, I guess it is. Happy solar return. Wonderful. You should join our Zoom call. You should email me and I'll give you the link to that Zoom call and we'll read your chart for you for the new moon. If you want, you can be one of our examples. If you want, you don't have to. No pressure. Chancletas. Yep. Yep. Down here in South Texas, we know that word. The flip flop. Well, good. I'm glad you guys have big skies and you're going out there and looking at all that. That is so wonderful. Yeah, it's something is so I don't know what it is about when you look at the sky, it just changes everything. When you just like feel and connect to that straight ahead, straight above. Star Sirius has a completely different frequency. It's so amazing. Business tips for April full moon plus the Pluto Venus square. Well, if you're Taurus rising, Christine, which I think you are, it may not be about that. It's going to be more about 8th and 11th house for you, not 10th house or 2nd house or 6th house. There may be some community type releasing that needs to happen first. I did it by the rising sense. You should check it out and see that one. But for business tips, I mean, for those of you with the 2nd house placements, 10th house placements, or 6th house placements, just follow that rising sign deal there and be ready to let go of something, because sometimes you invest in things in order for it to build value later, but sometimes you have to cut things loose that are not doing it. I mean, if you've got a losing investment, don't do it. Let it go. Get rid of it. Mary Mystic asked a good question. What kind of locations do you think are best for home, career, and astrocartology? Cartography or cartology? And I think that that's based on the planet. It just depends. I don't know. I don't do astrocartography, so I don't really know like what the best locations are. I think it depends on your chart too. It could change too, depending on where things are transiting, like in what part of your astro map. So cool. All right, you guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that presentation. Just remember, it's fine. You're being asked to release something, to let it go. And that's been the big message the last several lunar cycles. And feel into your body a little bit more than you're used to. If you're not doing that, it might reveal something to you. It may not be clear, like you might not have words for it. You might not be able to tell everybody what's been going on with you, but you should be able to have a sense of what's yes and a no. And that's all an Aries Venus needs, is a yes or a no, right? Mary Mystic's asking me what kind of locations interacting with my map. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not using a working version of Prometheus Capricorn, so I don't have access to the accurate astrocartography information. That's okay. I feel into it. I'm always asking, do I still want to live here? Like, do I see myself selling this house in 2 to 5 years? You know, I'm constantly asking myself those questions. I don't like to stay put. I like to be nimble. I like to be able to move and change and do different things. I think that's why it's made me a lucky person, because it's almost an autistic way I look at things. I don't get attached to it. I was attached to one house once, and I said, never, ever again. And I'm pretty attached to my partner. So that'll be a rough thing if anything ever happens to him. But, you know, we're also asking each other, do we still love each other, right? Till the wheels fall off? right? Just ask those questions. Be honest with yourself. That's the most important part, because if you're doing something just to save face or to make somebody else feel better, that's the wrong move right now. Well, Venus is in Aries. So, all right, you guys. Appreciate y'all so much for being here, for joining the Patreon, for even if you're just free, for thumbsing up the videos, for subscribing, for sharing, for talking to your friends about this kind of astrology. I love you all so much for doing that. And we have some cool things coming, but I don't know if I can talk about them yet. But anyway, you'll see the announcements. Anyway, all right, my loves, you have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll see you on the other side of this full moon. We'll probably do a live stream this weekend on a topic to be determined. So, all right, how about a little bit of happy memes? And then we'll see you guys next time.